So it's the heat of summer, y'all, and it is probably about 100 degrees noonish on a Saturday morning. And I thought, you know what a better way to share my life. You can hear it in the background, my husband is mowing. And I just got done working in my garden, and I noticed that there are so many cucumbers in my garden. I thought, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm gonna make a quick video on how to make some really amazing, yummy pickles. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna show you my garden. I'm gonna take you to my garden, and you're gonna spend some time with me picking our cucumbers. So let's head out. So please don't mind that I'm a sweaty mess, but this is, you know what, this is a typical Saturday. This is how our lives actually really look, and this is how we roll. I don't have makeup on because I'm in the garden sweating in the sun. Why do you need makeup, you say, right? All right, so I'm gonna come down here and I'm just gonna show you this. Now, let me, you know, if you're not a gardener and you don't have space for a garden, that's okay. You can go to your local farmer's market and buy pickles super cheap. You can go to the grocery store not pickles, I keep saying that, I'm sorry. Cucumbers. You can buy cucumbers super cheap. And, but I wanna show you, you can also go to your local grocery store. Here's my little buddy, that's Chino. Chino loves to eat grass. You may hear him sometimes in my videos, squawking, squealing. But this right here, I'm gonna kind of point this down and you can see, look at that beautiful cucumber. That's perfect size to pick for pickle making, okay? I can do spears with this one. I can slice it into thin circles for my Russian dills that I make. But we have a lot going on. So I'm gonna go through, you kind of have to rummage through the leaves like that for cucumbers. Just make sure you get them. Now I wanna point one out that I can't reach, and I think it's funny. I'm just gonna let it grow and see how big I can let it go. I'm never gonna eat it, but let me show you this amazing cucumber. All right, we're gonna go up like Jack and the Beanstalk here. It's kind of hard to see with that sun too, but do you see that guy right there? He's kind of hiding. I'm gonna see how big he can get. That's what I love, using these as trellises for my cucumbers. Okay, so we just got done picking our cucumbers. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of cucumbers in here. I have a whole bunch that I picked the other day, yesterday. So you have to pick your cucumbers if you grow them. You have to pick them every day. These are a different variety of cucumber right here. Oh, hi Chino. Chino wants to say hi to everybody. But this is a different kind of cucumber right here that it's just for slicing and eating. It's a long Asian cucumber. You can see I got the tomatillos, tomatoes, eggplant in here. But I want to show you a couple of cucumbers. Cucumbers are kind of tricky. They, there's my shadow. I'm trying to see if I can do it without my shadow in there. Maybe go this way. There we go. These are 3 cucumbers that are, they are almost too big, and I'm still gonna take them. You just gotta be careful. Cucumbers, I swear that they grow overnight. So this guy is almost too big for my pickles. Depending on the size of pickle that you like, it just gets a little bit seedier on the inside the bigger that they get. So you just really need to be careful with that. But with that being said, we're gonna take a second now in our garden. We're gonna go pick some dill in our garden right over there. So we have dill for our pickles. So some of my fresh dill right here, I have it throughout the garden. It's supposed to detract bugs from plants. It's really potent smelling. Deer don't like it as well. So what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna take several of these stalks and I'm gonna cut it off. Now I'm gonna tell you, if you don't have fresh dill like this, you can actually get the fresh dill at the store. When I make these refrigerator dills, I actually like to have this seed part in it. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna actually cut off this whole stalk right here. Sometimes you can go to the local farmer's market and you can find that as well. Just it kind of depends on your farmer's market. So we'll go ahead and get that cut, add it to our basket, and go into the house and start making our pickles. It's been a couple hours since we were outside in the sweltering heat. We're coming in. I had to cool down for a while, take a break from the crazy heat and really cool off. So now I'm ready, and I've got all of my mise en place here ready to go to make these quick refrigerator dills. And this recipe actually came from my Aunt Amy, who lives in Wisconsin, and I tweaked it, of course, just a little bit, and it is fabulous. All right, so we are going to have a large stock pot right here. Into this large stock pot, we're going to go ahead and make our brine. We've got to bring the brine to a boil, and then we'll turn it off. So let's go ahead and get that brine going. I have 1.5 quarts of vinegar, white vinegar, distilled vinegar. That was water. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Back the bus up. That was 1.5 quarts of water. Now we're adding to it 2 cups of distilled white vinegar. So 1.5 quarts of water, 2 cups of vinegar, 2 cups of mustard seed, or not 2 cups, 2 teaspoons of mustard seed are going in there. 2 teaspoons mustard seed, whole mustard seed. 1/2 cup of canning salt. This is 1/4 teaspoon of alum. Alum is really important to add to your pickles because that helps maintain its freshness and keeps the crunch. And this is where my twist comes in because we like spice. So I'm actually adding 1 tablespoon of red pepper flakes to this as well. You don't have to do red pepper flakes if you don't like them. So we're going to add that in there. And then we're just going to come back here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Our brine is done. We're going to come back here to our stove. I'm going to go ahead and get it lit. And while that's coming to a boil, I'm going to show you how you need to cut your pickles. Cut your cucumbers for your pickles. So this is really a beautiful size right here. This one is like perfect. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. That's okay. As you can see, they're all different shapes and sizes, and that's totally okay. I have an old ice cream bucket that we're going to reuse. These are perfect for this, and actually the recipe legitimately says to fill an ice cream bucket with cucumbers. So here's my ice cream bucket. So I'm going to actually cut this into fourths. So when I cut the cucumber, and let's go ahead, I'm going to move that a little bit out of the way so you can see this. I'm going to take my knife here and I'm going to cut it in half. And then we're just going to cut it into fourths, just like that, in half again. And as you can see, voila, pickle spears right there. Now, you don't want to cut the ends off. You leave the ends intact. So as you can see, this is where I took it off the vine right there. I don't want to cut that end off or anything. You just leave it as it is. And we're going to go ahead and cut enough pickles to fill this guy up. And when we're done filling this up, we're going to add the hot brine to it. And now halfway through the process of filling my bucket up, I'm going to be adding 6 crushed garlic cloves, and you could do less garlic if you want. You could do more garlic if you want. If you want to kill vampires with your breath after you've ate a pickle, then more garlic the better. I've done it before where there's more garlic and it's actually really, really good. And then I have 2 small white onions that I'm going to put in here as well, that I've just cut in half and I skinned and I sliced into thin slices like that. And so halfway through, we're going to go ahead and put that in. And then we're also going to be putting some of our dill in here. This is our, remember the dill that we cut outside? This is some of our fresh dill that we're going to also put inside of this. We're going to put it halfway through and on top. So check back here in just a little bit and we will be ready to put our hot brine on top of our to a rolling boil. I turned the heat off and now I let it cool for just a second and I am ready to put it on top of my cucumbers that are ready to go. As you can see, I showed you that halfway through layering, I put in my onion, my garlic. I did 3 sprigs of the dill, and once I got done to the top, I went ahead and added more dill. I did 3 more sprigs of dill on top. And if you like it really dilly, then by golly, don't be silly, add more dilly. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and add our brine. It's nice and it's hot, so be careful when you are pouring so you don't burn yourself. It always gives me a little bit of a cough with that vinegar. So if I do start coughing, please excuse me. So I'm going to pour this nice and steady over my pickles. You want it to be hot. And this ends up being the perfect amount. Little bit of seeds left in there, but it's all good. So now what we're going to do is we actually have to leave this at room temperature in a dark space. So we're actually going to be putting it in our pantry for 3 days. So I'm going to weight it down. I'm going to put a plate on top of that. Put one of my saucers in there like that. So that way we make sure that all the pickles are submerged. All the cucumbers are submerged to turn into pickles. Now, you can also, to ensure that it actually isn't submerged, it looks like they're all submerged right now. You could actually cover that up and put this on top as well, but it may overflow a little bit, so beware. You can put a cookie sheet underneath there to catch any of the extra juices that may overflow. Now, when we were outside, I did tell you, if you don't have any homegrown cucumbers, excuse me, that vinegar is getting to me. If you don't have any of those homegrown cucumbers, you can go to your farmer's market. There are different varieties of cucumbers that do work better for pickles. These are specifically designed to make pickles. The brine will actually penetrate the skin. It's a little bit thinner and it will penetrate the skin a lot easier than, say, one of the pickles that you would, or one of the cucumbers you would get at the store. All cucumbers can be turned into pickles, but there are varieties that make better pickles. So just be aware of that. So let's go ahead and let this sit for 3 days, and we will check back after 3 days and see what our final product is. All right, y'all, so my pickles sat on the counter in our pantry at room temperature for 3 days, weighted down. And guess what? They're ready. Now I transferred them over to this beautiful old jar just because I like old things and it looks prettier this way instead of an ice cream bucket. But I do use the ice cream bucket to marinate them. So let's go ahead and see if these pickles are really ready. Are you ready? Woo! I'm gonna drop that. Let's hear it. Oh, just the right of dill, just the right amount of heat, just the right amount of garlic and onion. So good. You want to try? Come on, take a bite. So good. I can hear your crunch all the way over here. Now that is a pickle. So, as I've said before in the past, from my Aunt Amy's kitchen, to my mom's kitchen, to my kitchen, to your kitchen. May God bless you and happy cooking.